What's going on, man? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ron, and today we got my part 2 of Breakout tight ends. I did a video a few weeks back on 3 tight ends that I like in the later rounds. There's not even a point in doing your draft if you're going to take a tight end early like that, or in the middle rounds like that. If you take your tight ends in the middle rounds of redraft leagues, go down below and unsubscribe. We don't want you here. Today we got 3 more, and these are all guys that like past round 10. I'm not taking anybody before that unless if it's Kelsey or Kittle. I need a lot of different options to have there past the 10th round because there's going to be a lot of variation between drafts. But there's plenty of dope targets this year that are going to be next year's Darren Waller or Tyler Higbee, the guys you're drafting late that are going to come up big for you at the end of the season. So I'm going to have content pumping out between now and week 1 of the NFL draft. So make sure you go down below, subscribe, leave a like, comment. Let me know if there's any tight ends I missed out on in this video, man. But let's go. Alright, first up we got Noah Fant. He's going off the board at the 10-11 as a tight end 14. And in any redraft league where I can't get Kelsey or Kittle, I'm not leaving a draft without Hockenson, Gesicki, or Fant. I mentioned Hockenson and Gesicki in the last video, but Fant is that next premier tight end that I'm looking for in the early of the double-digit rounds, the 10 to 12 range. Those are the 3, and then I mentioned Herndon in the last one. The next 2 are going to be those late guys that I look for to pair with a Gesicki, Fant, or Hockenson. I was gassing the fuck out of Hockenson in the last video, but Noah Fant was his teammate in college. They both went to Iowa. They're both Hawkeyes, and Noah Fant had a crazy rookie season, man. He is one of only 5 tight ends since 2014 to finish with 500 receiving yards as a rookie. That's elite company he's in when you figure out that it's Chris Herndon, George Kittle, Evan Ingram, and Mark Andrews who are on that same list. So Noah Fant, he's no joke, man. He's the real fucking deal. He's the real deal from a prospect standpoint, from dynasty, from what he's going to be in the future, even in year 2, which is what I'm going to go over in this video. Now, that's elite company, like I said, but he finishes a tight end 19 in points per game last year, among tight ends with 10 or more games played. Tight end 19, you're not going to be winning any fantasy seasons with tight end 19, but he was a tight end 14 in his last 8 games, and he finished as a top 12 tight end twice, and he finished as the tight end number 2 overall in both of those weeks. So he outperformed Kittle or Kelsey or both of them at the same time, man. He was that boy. He was at the top, providing high-end boom weeks, and I think that's what we're going to see in this season. He has massive upside, but it's just a matter of consistency and him growing in year 2. But this massive upside is because of his player profile. He's 6'4", 249, and he's best comparable to George Kittle. He checks every box, man. He had 88th percentile college dominator rating. He was in the 89th percentile for yards per reception, and he has an early breakout age. On top of that, man, you want to talk about some fucking bars, man? He is an insane athlete. He looks like a prototypical tight end field stretcher. That's why he's best comparable to George Kittle. He has a 97th percentile or above in every workout metrics. He ran a 4.5, and his most important stat is that he has a 97th percentile speed score. Now, I went back, I looked at the top 5 tight ends in ADP. So that's Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, Ertz, and Waller. The average speed score among all 5 of them is in the 85th percentile. So Noah Fant knocks it out of the park. And J.J. Zacharyson mentioned that athleticism and draft capital are huge for tight ends in a recent podcast. And Noah Fant has first-round draft capital and 97th percentile speed score. And it shows on the field, man. Noah Fant was tied for second among all receivers. So this is tight ends and wide receivers, so yards of the catch per reception. He was only behind A.J. fucking Brown in that stat. Only A.J. Brown was the only guy that was taking a catch and running farther after the catch than Noah Fant in 2019. Let that sink in. A tight end farther than any of the wide receivers out there right now, man. So he's providing elite yards after the catch, and so much so that 53% of Noah Fant's 562 receiving yards came after the catch. Now this explains his number 17 ADOT and his number 2 yards per reception. It's because he's getting these passes before the first down marker, and he's breaking them big, and that's huge because we don't know what Drew Lock looks like on the field yet, and it's great that he doesn't have to throw it 15 plus yards to get it to Noah Fant. He's not just a one-dimensional field stretcher. He's taking these routes across the middle into the flat, and he's going off with them. So having that type of efficiency and that type of upside as a player, it makes him less team dependent as a whole, and he can produce on limited touches. Like I said, he's a special talent. And I know they just brought in all these rookies. I know they brought in Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Alberto. But I'm not buying into this Albert O shower narrative with Drew Lock. I don't care how many times they've seen each other's dicks. It's not doing anything for me. Noah Fant, he's the boy, he's the alpha, and I don't think that Drew Lock is gonna be like, oh yeah, this tight end that I threw to 3 years ago is now my number one tight end, and Noah Fant's nothing. No, Albert O, we know tight ends take a long time to break out, and Albert O is a super raw tight end that's just all physicality. Noah Fant's probably got him beat there. Or not beat, but they have similar athleticism. So Albert O doesn't offer anything that Noah Fant doesn't already. I'm not scared of that. And I think the talent added is actually a good thing for Noah Fant. It takes pressure off of him, and it makes the offense more efficient, more likely to score touchdowns, more likely to gain yards, and help this second-year quarterback, Drew Lock. So we're shooting for upside with this pick, and Fant is one of the only guys past the 10th round, I think, that has top 5 George Kittle, Mark Andrews type breakout potential in year 2. Just readjusted the camera a little bit. That's why you pushed a little bit farther back. But next up, we got Jonnu Smith. Now, in every draft, I'm getting Hawkinson, Fant, or Gesicki, like I said. And if I can't double up one of those 3, then the next tier I'm moving on to is Jonnu Smith, the same tier as Chris Herndon in the last video. So last year, down the stretch, Jonnu Smith was a legit league winner. In weeks 14, 15, and 16, he was the tight end 7, and he posted 3 straight top 12 performances. He was deadass winning people money in their leagues, man. But here's the problem: if he's a tight end 7 down the stretch, what happened the rest of the season? Why is he not a top 12 tight end right now? And it's because the first 6 games he had Delaney Walker next to him. Jonnu Smith was the tight end 43 in those games with Delaney Walker and only averaged about a 60% snap share. After that stretch, though, from week 7 and beyond, Jonnu Smith was the tight end 14, and he hovered around an 80 to 90% snap share. So tight end 14 feels like the floor, and Jonnu Smith is just starting, man. That was year 3. It looks super promising, and he fits that mold of a breakout tight end that I was mentioning before. He has a 3rd-round draft capital, not as crazy as Noah Fant, but an 84th percentile speed score, and he has rapport in year 2 with Ryan Tannehill this year. Now, when you look at that passing game and how the targets break down, basically the man of the fucking house is A.J. Brown. As soon as he stepped foot through the doors, he was the alpha in that offense, and Corey Davis, kind of like the bum stepdad of the situation. A.J. Brown comes in there, completely stuns him, because the whole question was Corey Davis is fine, it's his quarterback's fault. Well, no, A.J. Brown comes in there, proves all that is bullshit, and Corey Davis looks like a bust now. It's not looking good for Corey Davis, but then you have the clear one with A.J. Brown, then Corey Davis, and then after that, it's not really anybody else, and it's Jonnu. But the problem is that the Titans don't pass the ball a lot for a 3rd passing option to be that relevant. They were bottom 3 in pass-to-run ratio, and they were 31st in pass attempts in 2019. So these are legit concerns. But when you look at Jonnu Smith's price in the 12th round, and you visualize the upside that I'm showing you guys, it's a great deal at that spot. And he's like Noah Fant in the way that he's insane after the catch. He was 4th in yards per reception, or yards after the catch per reception, after only A.J. Brown, Noah Fant, and Deebo Samuel. So just like Noah Fant, he went crazy after the catch. He averaged 8.5 yards after the catch per reception. So he had over 50% of his receiving yards came after the catch, and he proved that he was efficient too. He was number 2 in yards per target, number 2 in target separation, number 6 in QB rating when targeted, and number 3 in fantasy points per target. He has insane upside. He can be efficient on a low amount of targets in that offense. He can take him the distance. He has that long speed. I love him as a late round target because he can really ascend this year. All right, last up we got Blake Jarwin. He's going off the board at the 1509 as a tight end 21, and Blake Jarwin's not really one of those like sexy, nice, one of those nice tight ends, one of those guys who are appealing. A lot of people don't even know who Blake Jarwin is. He's probably going to be there at the last round of your home leagues and redraft leagues, and it was because he was on the bench for most of the time because Jason Witten was there. Blake Jarwin's highest snap share was only 57.4%. And like I said, it was mainly Jason Witten. But look, Jason Witten, he packed up shop, him and his fucking hairpiece, into the suitcase, and he's gone to Las Vegas. Who knows why he'd make that move? They already got Darren Waller. The whole thing doesn't even make fucking sense. But look, Blake Jarwin, now he's in that spot. He's in that chair of the tight end 1. He was super efficient last year. He was top 10 or better in yards per target, yards per route run, and QB rating when passed to. And he's not the same separator as Jonnu Smith or Noah Fant, and that's because he only has a 61st percentile speed score. That's not a death sentence because Zach Ertz only has a 57 percentile speed score. So there are tight ends at the high end that aren't as athletic as Noah Fant, Jonnu Smith, or any of the other guys I mentioned. What makes up for his lack of athleticism is that it's a situation. Because the other guys we have, what do we have? The Broncos, the Titans, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Lions. These are all pretty shitty teams when it comes to overall offensive efficiency, offensive DVOA. But Jarwin is on probably the best situation out of all these guys. He's on a top 5 scoring offense in Dallas. Now they got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Gallup, and then they got Zeke Elliott in the backfield, Dak Prescott. They don't have fucking Jason Garrett, run passing every possession. You got Kellen Moore taking command of the offense. I love the Dallas Cowboys offense to be a top 5 scoring offense in 2020, man. And Jarwin's going to be a huge beneficiary of this because they have the second most vacated targets because Randall Cobb and Jason Wynn, they pieced. So now they got plenty of targets to go around. CeeDee Lamb's going to probably get 70 to 80 of them. And you're going to see some go to Gallup. He was hurt last year. And whichever way you divvy up the targets, Jarwin had 41 last year. Witten saw 83. I think that it's very reasonable to think that Jarwin sees a 25 to 35 uptick in targets. He should be somewhere in the 70 to 90 targets range. And that's all you need in this high-powered offense. He's going to find himself in situations where Amari Cooper is getting doubled and Michael Gallup is getting coverage down the middle of the field. The defenses, when they go into their film room and they're looking at film, writing up whatever their defensive plans, nowhere at any point is some DB going, oh, Blake Jarwin, that's definitely a guy we have to fucking care about. There's no way. It's all the attention is going everywhere but Blake Jarwin. He's the worst skill position player on that team, and that's gonna free him up in the middle of the field in the end zone on play action plays when they all come into Zeke and then they scramble to Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb. Jarwin is going to get open, and he's a great red zone option. He's great at the sticks. He's going to get plenty of opportunities in this sick offense, man. All right, man. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Go down below, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if these 6 tight ends I went over in this video and last video, if you got any other late round tight ends you like. I know for me, Ian Thomas is another guy that's like an honorable mention for this list. And I'm always talking about guys like Ian Thomas or guys that didn't quite make the cut over on my Twitter. Go check that out at @RonStewart_. And as always, man, I'll see you in the next one.